Greetings to you, ma'am. My name is Niklesh and my registration number is 20BCE1174 and the title of my NLP project is Paragraph Summarizer. We are a team of three consisting of myself, Niklesh, Tushar and Niro. First, let me discuss about the definitions of paragraph and summarization. A paragraph is a group of sentences which are well organized and coherent in such a way that all those things are related to a single topic or a scenario. In general, any piece of writing that consists of a huge bunch of sentences should be organized well into paragraphs for better understanding of the readers. Summarization. Summarization is the process of shortening the data computationally in such a way that in order to create a small data set of the huge data which represents the important information of the original content by showing the crux of the information. It is the act of expressing the most important points about something in short and clear form or a text in which these facts or ideas are expressed. Paragraph summarizer. It is nothing but the summarizing the given set of paragraphs into small set of data so that the reader can, by reading the small set of data, can get the information which has to be said in the whole set of paragraphs. Our problem statement. There are different paragraph summarization models existing which tend to generate false information which may be happening due to the two main reasons which can be at the either entity level which may be due to extra entities generation or entity relation level which is due to the context in which entities are incorrectly generated. So our aim is to create a correct results where we are developing a model with factual consistency at entity level and also we are leaving the relation level part for future projects and the future developments. And also this helps to develop a better and the most accurate problem paragraph summarization model. Abstract. Abstract of our project is text or paragraph summarization is the process of generating precise and concise summary of the huge data and the huge text while focusing on the important sections that conveys the most useful information without losing the overall content and the crux of the data which is given as the input. This aims to transform the lengthy documents into shortened versions where the cost and the speed of implementation will be reduced to a maximum level when it is done manually. Now let us dive deep into our project by knowing about the workflow of our project. Initially, we will develop our model by giving many different huge texts and with the possible summarization models and the techniques where so that our model gets habituated to how to break the sentences, how to make the sentences, how to get the data and to extract in order to form the summary. After this, all the experiments doing done, huge data will be given to the model so that it gives the summary of the data which completes our project. And let us see the workflow diagram of our project. Initially, a text input will be given and where it will be pre-processed into paragraphs, sentences and words, which from where features extraction will be done from the pre-processed data and from the features which got extracted, there will be classified into different classes and according to the classes and the need, the summarization method will be selected and by implementing those methods, summarization will be done, which gives the final output as the summary for the input text input. Now, in order to do all this workflow, we need the concept, we need to implement some concepts of NLP, that is natural language processing. So now let us see about natural language processing. Natural language processing, which is mostly familiar as NLP, is a branch of AI, that is artificial intelligence, where it is most concerned about the processing of the languages which are taken as input via typing as text or as vocal via words so that the computer gives the ability to understand the text and also spoken words in the same way as humans are understanding. This NLP is widely used in email filters, smart assistants, search results, autocomplete in search engines, summarization, language translation, and also in text analytics. Now let us talk about the challenges faced in NLP. There are different challenges faced in NLP such as solving ambiguous languages, translating languages and local dialects, creating appropriate human-machine interfaces, taking the context into account, generalizing to new domains and data types, handling code switching and mixed language input, and also speech synthesis that sounds natural. Now, let us see the sequence which has to be implemented for our project so that we will know about the NLP. There are 4 main parts of our projects which has to be implemented for a paragraph summarization tools are pre-processing, removing stop words, feature extraction, classification. In pre-processing, there are 2 types. One is tokenization and is normalization. In normalization, there is another thing which has to be done is lemmatization. In classification, it helps to give the summary techniques which has to be followed for the data given. Now, let us dive into each of these techniques and explain more about the concepts of NLP which has to be implemented in our project. First one is pre-processing. This is the first step and the most important steps in the implementation of our projects for a paragraph summarization, as there is a saying that data engineers spend 80% of their time in pre-processing phase and the remaining rest 20% about completing the pre-processing. So this is the most important phase in the implementation. So here the text data may be given in a raw form and also it may contain many errors along with undesirable text. So the main aim in pre-processing is to reduce all those errors in order to make our model to increase efficiency and to give less reduced biased results. So this step has to be performed in order to achieve the best possible results for the paragraph summarization. As said before, there are 2 steps in pre-processing. One is tokenization and one is normalization. Now let us see what is tokenization. Tokenization, as the name suggests, tokens. It will be divided, the huge data which has been taken will be divided into chunks of data which are known as token, which will be processed further. In this step, the text data will be decomposed into small units of called tokens. Here, this has to be done as initially the input data may contain a lots of paragraphs with significance, lots of lines and content, which is very difficult to process if it is taken as such. So we will further break those into tokens and will be processed. This is one method of pre-processing. And the second method is normalization. Here, usually most of the text or the data sets will contain many words where all those are related to a single word by adding some suffix or the prefix, like giving the plurals by adding before one word or the after one word, which are all related to a single word in general. So these conditions may cause redundancy in the data set, which may give the false results if taken to pre-processing after pre-processing as such. So in order to reduce those, normalization is implemented where these words are converted into their root forms. That is the general word which has been said, so that it decreases the count of unique words in our data sets, thus improving the efficiency of the model and also the reduces the redundancy of the data set which may be possible. This process can be achieved with the help of lemmatization. So here, lemmatization, it is not, as the name suggests, it will gives the lemmas of the each words. Here, the words will be generated after cutting the suffix or prefix according to the words. Sometimes and into the word which will be generated will be belong to the dictionary word. For example, leaf, leaf, leaf we know, leaves. Leaves is a plural form of leaf. So it will be converted into leaf. In dictionary, only we will have the meaning for leaf, not for leaves. So it will convert leaves into leaf, but not leaf into leaves. This is the where lemmatization works. Its significance that it will not produce any incorrect word as it takes the words which will be belong to any dictionary. The words generated after lemmatization is called as lemmas. For example, decreases will be converted to decrease. Leaves or leaves. VAS or only S will be converted into leaf. Now, let us move into the next part which has to be implemented is removing stop words. Stop words is nothing but as the name suggests, stop. With the help of these words, it will generally stop. So these are the words which generally help to combine the sentence and make them meaningful. Means there are the unnecessary words, but they have been used in the sentence to generate the meaning in a meaningful manner. These words are not useful for our model. So they need to be removed these words from our data set. This which helps to increasing the efficiency of the model by reducing the redundancy of the data set. For example, in English language, there are several words such as I, am, are, etc. Now, let us see an example for removing the stop words. Let us take an example of the star are twinkling at night. Here, the, are, at. These three words will be considered as the stop words as stars, twinkling, night. These three can be conveyed the meaning. The other three are used in order to make the sentence meaningful. In this way, stop words will be removed. After this, we will go to the feature extraction. Here, after removing the stop words and everything, for the data which has been received, the feature extraction will be done, where this kind of extractive methods helps to attempt to summarize articles by identifying the most important phrases from the original text after all those process. Here, the text data will be converted into machine readable format by converting them into numbers. Generally, this feature extraction will be done with the help of a label encoder. So, after feature extraction, classification of the information will be done for the data given. These features are then taken out separately for classifying. As the picture suggests, the raw text data is there. It is classified into three different things of the same set of data, for each classification, some summarization technique has to be implemented to give the summary of the whole data set or the whole data. The main aim here is to combine these words which has been taken out from to form a condensed version of the original text while not losing the essential meaning conveyed in the original version. So, for classification, we need to suggest and select the summarization techniques. There are different types of summarization techniques which are broadly classified into two. One is extract to text summarization approach. Second one is abstract to text summarization approach. Based on the need and requirement of the data and also the pre-processing techniques, everything which has been used, the appropriate summarization method can be chosen. There is no hard and fast rule that only extract to text should be used, abstract to text should be used. Sometimes a hybrid of these both can be implemented in order to give the best possible results. So in our model, we will be using the hybrid of these both in order to give the results. First, let us look into summarization via extract to text approach. Here, the summarization is done via frequency technique. As seen in the diagram in the document, some words are highlighted where they have the high frequency even in the document or in the general language where the processing will be done, so that those will be converted in order to make the summary. This is the crux of extract to text approach. Here, we record the sentences containing those terms in our final summary based on the high frequency words from the which are taken the reference from the dictionary. Continuation of this helps to ensure that the words in our summary comes from the text itself without changing the thing. This is the main important part of extract to text approach. It will just extract the important words and the important terms to form the summary of the whole text. This extraction is carried out in accordance with specified measure with no changes made to the text, even by adding the plurals or removing the plurals like that. In easier words, this method will detect essential pieces of text, cuts them out, and then it will combine them back together to generate a concentrated or the concentrated form of the original data set. Now, let us see about the summarization via abstract to text approach. Here in this model, as seen in the picture, in the document, all the things are highlighted and the summaries are taken by squeezing the words and changing the words. In general, if there is a sentence of 10 words, it can be converted into 4 words, which need not to be those initial 10 words in order to generate the same meaning as that of 10 words. This is the main thing in the abstract to text. In this model, a paraphrase of the key points of the given text is created using a set of words that is different from the original. This is not as same as from the extract to text approach. This is quite similar to what we do as humans. In generally, when we read a paragraph, we will say to others by knowing the information, by getting the information, we will say the summary where we generally won't use the same words as that of the document. Same here. So it will represent the phonological representation of the data set. In continuation of this, it selects the terms from a general vocabulary according to a frequency used words that fits in the semantics in order to construct a brief summary that conveys the meaning of the document. Here it generally won't takes the same meaning, same words. Generally, it is very high unlikely that it uses the same words mostly in order to make the summary. In this way, abstractive and extractive text summarization approaches are defined. Now, let us see the representation of our summarization model. Here, inputs are given where summarization text will be then where text processing, feature extraction, sentence sourcing are done. Even for the abstract to summarization, text processing is same, and here sequence to sequence model is implemented along with an attention results. Here in extract to same words will be taken, in abstract to same meaning will be taken, and for the same input those both will be in a hybrid manner in order to generate the summary. Summary will be taken and the final results will be displayed. In this way, the summarization model will be there. Even in our project, we will use the same thing. Extractive and abstractive both combinedly we will use, and according to the data which has been given and to the frequency and everything, we will decide and select which summarization technique will be used and how hybrid method has to be implemented and everything. Here there is no hard and fast rule of using either extractive or abstractive. So we will design our model in such a way that it need not fix any same specific rule of implementation. Now the expected output. See here a website page is given where the some data is given regarding to hard to understand thing and everything. So all this data, including the pictures, everything will be naturally processed with the help of natural language processing, and a summary is generated in a very few words and few lines so that it gives the content and the information related to the everything of the content without changing the important things. Here, for example, marks Q. Here, this word will not be changed even if it is used in extractive or abstractive, as this is a unique word, general word, which has to be used. For example, Niklesh. Niklesh may have the other meaning or anything. If those will be won't be converted into other words. That's why we are saying extractive or abstractive. Anything can be used. So, in sometimes abstractive has to be used for getting the less number of words. Sometimes extractive has to be used in order to not change the meaning of the sentences. So in this way, the expected output will be there. So here is another simple representation where in the original note, there are different set of paragraphs there. For each paragraph, a very small lines will be are summarized into a summary paragraph. In that further summary paragraph, again summarization has been done to give the very small summary of the entire data. Here for the original note, summary paragraph or summary. Anything gives the same meaning of the original note, even if we won't read the original note. Generally, for preparing the exams, we will make the small important formulas, important sentences and everything. It is the same thing. But here, not only for exams, here generally for most of the things, for any newspaper article, for any novels, for any research papers, everything, there will be bundles of paragraphs, loads and loads of pages. In order to read those things, humans generally get vexed after reading few paragraphs. So, as a result, in order to keeping their mind and the time of their uses and the precious time, this process is implemented in via natural language processing for the paragraph summarization technique. So the software requirements which has been used in our for our project are, there are two parts which has been used. Front end. For the front end, HTML, CSS and JavaScript are used. HTML for making the web page and CSS for styling and JavaScript for making the web page responsive. In this way, the front end part of our project is done. And there is a text summarization part where this coding is entirely based on Python, where we will implement the summarization techniques, pre-processing, lemmatization, normalization, tokenization, and all the other things like removing stop words, classification, and decision of summary techniques, everything will be done with the help of Python via text summarization module. These both modules are there in our project. This is the main thing. So this comes to the end of our presentation. Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving us such a wonderful opportunity for exploring more via natural language processing with this project component. Thank you, ma'am.